Here at OneManBand Productions, we believe that the best Faunus character is Holo the Wise Wolf. And I'm not going to change my opinion on that. Hey everybody out there in YouTube land and beyond. Jake of the One Man Band is back again, giving you guys another RWBY in-depth look video. This is part 2 of my in-depth look at the Faunus in the world of Remnant and the RWBY universe in general. I'm currently recording this at 1 a.m. in the morning because it is the only time that it is actually cool enough for me to record this. Seriously, I'm dealing with like triple-digit numbers in degrees here. Today was 110. But enough of my moaning and overall bitching. Here we go. We're gonna look at the White Fang organization in RWBY. Actually, before I get onto that, let me tell you guys that I have seen your comments on the previous part of this in-depth look at the Faunus, and you are right. Menagerie was originally set to be a forceful colonization area for the Faunus on Remnant. That's what the Faunus Rights Movement, or the Faunus War, was fought over. So whether that actually turned into an actual Faunus kingdom, or if it's just abandoned or something currently in the present day in RWBY, is yet to be told. Just wanted to let you guys know that I read your comments and I actually looked it up and you guys were right. So back on the subject of the White Fang. What do we know about the White Fang? They are an extremist Faunus political movement that dabbles in terrorism. Those aren't two things that should go hand in hand. So, what kind of crimes are they actually, like, guilty of? Well, robberies, especially with dust and probably weapons, armed riots, destruction of private and public property, murder. Weiss has stated that members of the top board of the Schnee Dust Company have actually ended up dead due to Faunus extremists. But here's another thing to think about. We do know that Roman Torchwick got a hold of some Paladin mech suits that were supplied by the Schnee Dust Company. Now, does he have connections to the Schnee Dust Company and the military, or does the White Fang have those connections? We're not sure quite yet, but either way, I think that does not spell out positive things for our protagonists. So now we know what the White Fang actually do, but why do they actually do it? Well, if you watched part 1 of this 2-part series on the Faunus, I stated that the Faunus are segregated and discriminated against, and there's a lot of hate crimes going their way. And we do also know from the series that the White Fang used to be a peaceful organization. They were supposed to be the bridge between the general Faunus population and the human population. They were supposed to be like the meeting ground between them. In a way, they were kind of like the Avatar from The Last Airbender. And I'm talking about the cartoon, not the dumb movie. So they were originally there to fight for Faunus rights in a diplomatic and probably unviolent manner. Much like the civil rights movements of Martin Luther King Jr. and Gandhi in India. You know, all those years way back when, like 40, 50 years ago. You know, back then. But, as we know, 5 years prior to RWBY Volume 1, the original leader stepped down and a new leader rose up and made them more violent. Then they started to do the armed riots, robberies of dust, taking out Schnee Dust Company trains, and doing all this violent, not good stuff. And humanity started to fear them instead of respecting them. Well, they were respecting them out of fear, but that's not true respect. So we have an organized syndicate of Faunus, led by a very violent person. I do believe that the current leader of the White Faunus right now wants Faunus supremacy on the world of Remnant. They either want to just wipe out the current leadership of the kingdoms and replace it with something completely new, probably something only run by Faunus, or they want to completely wipe out the human population on the world of Remnant, which, if you really think about it, really doesn't make them any better than the humans that segregate against them. Two wrongs don't make a right, mate. But whatever their true intentions are, all we know currently is that they're being employed by both Roman Torchwick and the Chaos Syndicate to kind of be their foot soldiers and their, quote, army, unquote. And speaking of the main antagonists of the series, we saw that at the end of Volume 2 that even though many of the White Fang that were in the tunnels at the time of their collapse didn't make it out, and Roman Torchwick was sent into jail, it was Adam who was going to step up and lead them, the White Fang, to following Cinder. Now, I know what you're all thinking right now. Does this mean that Adam is the tyrannical, violent leader of the White Fang? Well, let's explore that, shall we? It can be very much assumed that Adam was the one responsible for the White Fang donning on Grimm-like masks, as I explained in my Adam 3... what was it? 3 theories video. There's gonna be a link to it somewhere, probably down in the description. But in that video, I explained how his first creation of a Grimm mask probably inspired other members of the White Fang to do such. And his seems like it would be the original, due to the fact that it's pure white instead of the metallic gray that the other ones are. And at the end of Volume 2, it is pretty much shown that Adam holds some high form of authority over the White Fang, due to the fact that he is so confident that the White Fang will follow him and follow his orders. So, I'm gonna put it to bed right here. Is Adam the leader of the White Fang? I have no idea. Either he is the definite leader of the White Fang, or he is a high-ranking lieutenant that may want to try to vie for the supreme position, because he seems to have that drive to be the leader of the entire organization. And maybe that's going to be one of the plot lines in Volume 3, is Adam's rise to power in the White Fang ranks. And now on to something you guys have been bugging me about. You want me to talk about Raven again. And some of you guys want me to discuss the whole idea of Raven being a part of the White Fang and to go into more detail about her mask. Now, her mask, her Grimm-like mask that she wears in whatever scenes we have seen her in. It is definitely reminiscent of a Grimm mask, and it is very similar to Adam's in the fact that it is pure white with red detail instead of the gray metallic and black detailed ones that the White Fang grunts wear. Now, could this mean that those type of masks are only for high-ranking members in the White Fang? Quite possibly. In the middle of a battle, if you look toward your commanding officer and they have a distinctive mask type, it would be easy to distinguish them out and follow their orders. But does this truly mean that Raven is a member of the White Fang? Well, the positives are her mask and her name. I mean, her name, Raven. That could really mean anything. But I think the whole idea of somebody named after an animal actually being a member of the White Fang kind of makes sense. Now, some of the negatives toward this theory is Neo's attitude toward her. Now, Neo worked hand in hand with Torchwick. She was there at the Faunus meeting when he was revealing the Paladin mech suit tanks. She is not afraid of any Faunus. She probably knows many of the high-ranking officials of the White Fang. So, why would she be afraid of this one person? Probably either that she was somebody that she didn't know, or somebody so powerful that it scared the ever-living bejesus out of her. But all of that is pointing toward her not knowing Raven. And then there's the whole thing with her somehow being related to Yang. As we know, and as we know of right now, Yang is not a Faunus. No matter what you people say. No matter what you people say in the comments, I will not believe that Yang is any part of a Faunus until she grows ears or a tail. Or horns. Or something other animal orientated. But I will not believe that Yang is a freaking Faunus until it is shown in the series. I'm serious! And since all you people are so hell-bent on being like, oh, Raven is Yang's mom, then couldn't be the thing. It couldn't be that Raven is a Faunus, because Faunus blood would be in Yang then. I'm sorry, I got worked up over that. Now, there's one more thing that I want to talk to you about Raven and the White Fang. And it kind of goes hand in hand with her kind of being a Faunus, whatever. Now, Neo's attitude towards her was scared. Now, I did say that attitude would choreograph towards the fact that Neo doesn't know who she is. But on the fact of the matter, on the point, in the weird way, if Neo knew who Raven was, why would she be scared of her? Now, what if Raven was the new leader of the White Fang? I mean, I'm just saying. This is just a theory. And me, myself, I don't even believe it. I'm just throwing it out to you guys. Do with that as you will. Have some table scraps, my friends. Have this cake. Let them have cake, and that cake says Raven is the new leader of the White Fang. Now, I think if she was the leader of the White Fang, that would kinda, unsettle Neo enough to make her run away, because it's like, what's the big leader doing here? I should probably get out. But in my opinion, that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, Raven is a wild card. She is a total mystery. And we will discuss her at some point again. But we're still talking about the White Fang here. All in all, the White Fang is a group of people, a group of Faunus, that have a goal to get to, they have a reason for fighting, and they will continue fighting until either they're entirely wiped out or their leadership makes some serious changes. Now, does this mean that our former member of the White Fang, Blake, is somehow destined to become the leader of the White Fang, to lead them on the road back to peace? Me, I would personally love to see that, but that would kind of mean her not being a part of Team RWBY anymore. You know, maybe something for the future. But as of right now, the White Fang is the Chaos Syndicate's army, if they're not going to use Grimm in any way, which I do believe they will. But the White Fang is definitely a force to be reckoned with. We have seen that they have numbers, they have materials, and they do have powerful people fighting within their ranks. All in all, our protagonists in Volume 3 are going to have their hands full with the White Fang as well as the other villains in the series. Hey guys, I just want to thank you for watching this video. It was kind of shorter than the previous ones have been. I mean, the last one just about the Faunus was a half-hour long, but that was because I wanted to talk a lot, and this part could have been part of that video, but then it would have been even longer, and I don't want to take up your guys' too much time. So, made the two-parter. I think it was a nice two-parter. So I want to thank you once again for watching this video. Be sure to like and favorite if you've enjoyed. Subscribe. Of course, you can hit that subscribe button anytime you want. And be sure to leave all your comments down below, whether it be a comment about this video, whether it be a question about this video, or to me personally, whether it be some crackpot theory. I will definitely take a look at it. And then be sure to share this video with all your RWBY loving friends, and even your non-RWBY loving friends. We need to spread the word of RWBY to all corners of the world, so that they shall know what we're talking about in our forums and our internet videos. Sorry, dubbing into my manifesto. That's another video altogether. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a lovely, lovely day, or night, or morning, whenever you're watching this. And I am Jake the One Man Band. I strive to entertain you in more ways than one. Be a good person, tip your waitresses, keep moving forward. I'll see you guys next time. Yeah.